Hey, Steve Riley, welcome to this episode of Great Practice, Great Life. And I am here today with attorney Shannon Sagan. We were just talking about his use of the My Great Life Focus, the Daily Focuser, his new podcast. But the primary reason he's here today is to talk about the power of niching. So, with that, Shannon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Steve. It's good to see you. It's been a couple of years, but glad we were able to catch up on this.
I know it's been a few years, but you look good. Like I said, you're looking spiffy. I like the
Trying.
new haircut. I like the new look. I like the podcast studio you got happening behind you. For the people that watching us on YouTube, it's pretty cool. There'll be people checking it out on YouTube more likely to see your cool podcast studio. So well done, man. Very well done.
Thank you. It's all 90s themed. So everything I kind of grew up with in the 90s between the Nintendo 64, you can see the boom box in the background with the cassette tapes. And then you can't see it over here, but I have a payphone and flip cell phones and beepers. So very nostalgic.
You do have quite the collection
Kind of like
going.
what you have in the background
Yeah.
behind yours. You've got that's like an old school computer, huh? I love it.
Yeah, that is the classic Apple Mac. That's the Macintosh number one for B1. So yeah, that's right behind me just to kind of keep it was fun to put it there when we start doing the growth AI class, but now I may have to replace it with something else. But but let's talk about your practice. Where do you practice? And then let's talk about your niche.
So always personal injury, plaintiff's personal injury. I am in Palm Beach County, a little bit south of you, and I've got a main office in Palm Springs with a small satellite location out in a tiny little farm town called Belle Glade. Been at it for a little over 20 years. I've been in the personal injury space for 26, 27. I actually worked for a defense firm up in Orlando back when I was in UCF. I've seen both sides of how this works. And I've been on my own over 17 years now, solo practitioner with just a small amount of staff. That's how I've always liked it. That's how I've always envisioned it. And that's probably how it'll stay for good.
Got it. I mean, that's the cool thing about being a practitioner. You get to design that great practice and great life the way you want it to work for you. So whether it's a massive firm or like you said, I've got a good team. I like my team. I like to specialize, and this is what I like to do. Now, let's talk about that further because there's a lot of competition in the PI world. Lots of competition. I cannot go down the street without seeing a Morgan and Morgan billboard and then four other billboards behind it of local lawyers or statewide lawyers. Everywhere I turn, there's another PI billboard. It's got to be the same thing for you in Palm Beach.
Yeah, we've got the Steiger and Greens, which I think are making their way up to your neck of the woods or have. Andajar, Gordon and Associates. A lot of the firms that are up in your way now, they all started here. Palm Beach County always had a pretty heavy presence of very, very wealthy law firms, and about three of them always started off with the billboard, the radio, the TV ads from the beginning, which is why they were able to catapult themselves so large.
Now, being in that neck of the woods, is it hard for you to get cases? Hard for you to compete? Is that why you niched?
So it's extremely hard. The pay per click type stuff. I'm not doing that anymore. We'll do some small targeted social media ads. I am mainly organic now, and being in this town most of my life, knowing a lot of people, and just being in the industry for over 2 decades, most of our cases now are referred, and they've been that way for a while. So I spend my time focusing on how to get more referrals versus trying to figure out how to get more online leads or things like that. It just doesn't work for me. I don't have the budget that the big firms do for the paper clips for the LSAs and things like that. As far as the niche, um, I had been running my practice for 14, 15 years. The main law firm was under my firm name, and some people know me, but I'm not really a well known name here. And one of the things I learned from Atticus is having exit plans, and it had me thinking, what is my end game eventually? And when I sell this thing, if I'm fortunate enough to do that, how do I want that to look? And I thought about it, and selling my name of a law firm, I did not think would work out as good as maybe having an actual brand name. So to back up, I've always had dash cams in my cars. I've been using them probably for 8 years now when they first came out. All my cars, 'cause I want to make sure we're protected. And as I'm having the dash cams, I'm starting to see cases coming in over the next few years where there's always a question about liability. The other side's insurance company is either not accepting full responsibility or they're putting some blame on my client. And I'm starting to tell people to get dash cams, but I never put two and two together and said, maybe I need to rebrand the dash cam lawyer. Took me a couple years. I'm driving on I-95 one day. I look up at my dash cam and then it hits me. Who lawyer wise is talking about dash cams? And I don't mean, one video that they're doing or one installation type video, which was really all that I saw. Who is there anyone that's really talking about them, the laws related to it? And so I went home, did hours of research, and realized no one's really talking about how important they are, how they strengthen cases. Called my trademark lawyer up. I said, I have this name, the Dashcam lawyer. Is it available? She said yes. And then right away, she said, once I hang up the phone, you have to start putting content out, establishing yourself as the Dashcam lawyer while this trademark takes 11 months. And so right away, I just started creating tons of content on everything dash cam related, from installation videos to, like I said, I do CLEs talking about the laws related to admissibility of dash cam videos. Um, I've given out probably 800 dash cams locally in Palm Beach County now to try to get the word out. And it's a multi-facet thing here. Obviously, it's a marketing thing for me, not only having the Dashcam lawyer name, which is easier to remember than my name, but I'm giving out dash cams to people. Everybody could use a dash cam. And it's a pretty nice gift, to be honest, especially to get for free. Marketing aspect, they have the dash cam. It's got my logo on it. And the hope is down the road that maybe they'll reach out to me, God forbid, when they are in an accident. And it does happen. It's still going to take a little while, but I'm starting to get cases related to giving people dash cams. But I've always had struggled with, what is my niche? What makes me different? As you and I were talking, there's billboards everywhere. There's radio ads. Everyone says the same thing, in my opinion. We'll fight for you. We'll fight hard. Justice, free consultations, all this stuff that is all the same. And for years, I had this struggling. How am I different? How can I niche myself? I had many years where I had a side business in kickboxing, and I grew it to be kind of sort of worldwide, where I sold my own kickboxing apparel and equipment. And I met some of the top fighters in the world, some of the trainers. I've seen probably close to 1,000 fights. And I was trying for years to figure out how I could make that my niche, like the fighter's lawyer or something like that. But the problem I had was all these people that I knew and met, they were all around the country. And I just didn't see how that could help my practice here locally, because I'm focused on just Palm Beach County and then the surrounding counties around me. That's all I really want to focus on. I'm not looking to go past Florida. I'm not looking to grow very big. So the fighting thing, I just couldn't figure out how I could use those connections. And then the dash cam came to me, and I'm like, why did I not think of this years ago? Because I've been using them for many years. So I really feel everyone, especially if you're someone like me, solo, you're just starting off competing with these monster law firms, you got to have some kind of niche that sticks out. And I've never in my career gone to networking events before where even my competition comes up to me and says, I've seen your videos. The dashcam lawyer thing is amazing. I wish I had thought of that. So I know I'm onto something. And now we're just trying to take this idea to the next two, three levels.
Well, let's talk about it for a minute. So, a really basic question. I got in this discussion with a friend of mine. Do you do the dash cam on the front and the back of the car?
So it depends. The dash cams that I was testing out at first and the ones that I give away currently for free, they view the front of the car. And even though you can't see what happens from behind, they're still going to get a good amount of what happened if you're not at fault. So if someone says they had a green light, you had a green light, it's going to show it. If you're T-boned, even though you may not see the car T-boning you, you're going to see the car getting pushed. There's certain times where liability from behind is disputed, and the front view is still going to help you out. However, ideally, the best scenario is to have cameras that face front and rear. And so that's what I have now in my wife's car. We want to make sure we're protected from the front and from the rear, and you can see and hear everything.
Got it. So for you, front and back is preferred, but at least have something front. So at least you have that part protected. And then your assumptions hit somebody hits from the side or behind, at least the evidence that's being shown on the front dash cam is supportive of your claim, basically.
Yes. The problem with the front and rear for some people is most people don't know how to install that rear camera. It's not that hard, but most people don't know how to do that. So I just tell them to make it easier, just make sure you at least have something front facing, and just get it in your car and get it running. That you have no idea how many people I've given dash cams to, and it's still sitting on the floor because they're intimidated about how to set it up, and it's really not that hard. And a little item like that, even if you paid for one, say $100, could save you potentially thousands in insurance claims.
But it's funny enough, my son has a dash cam for his car, for his truck, and he went to an apartment complex to check out, leasing there. And the metal gate that opens and closes, he filed leasing agent, and the metal gate closes and smashes the side of his truck, breaks the front of the windshield, breaks the passenger side glass, window as well, and it's a good sized dent in the side of the truck. Funny enough. And the cop basically, when the police came out to investigate it, said, well, generally, you're at fault because obviously you drove in while the gate was closing. You're trying to beat the gate. My son showed him the dash cam. He goes, oh, never mind. The dash cam clearly shows it was a malfunction by the gate. So it saved a great big argument, a great big claim, and a dispute there. Now, so it's just interesting to see how this has become more pervasive. Now, let's talk about when you niched it. Because you've got the trademark, what else did you do to niche or position yourself? Did you do anything differently on social media, YouTube, anything like that? One of the challenges that you have in growing your practice, trying to make more money, trying to have a great life, is how do you stay focused and not frantic? It's a big challenge. So for a moment, I just want to talk to you about one of the tools that we recommend. It's transformative for anyone that adopts it and uses it. And it's called the My Great Life Focus. It is designed specifically by lawyers for lawyers. This is how it works. Inside of this is a focusing concept that helps you stay focused on the most important goals for you. It actually coaches you on things like prompts and questions, and it gives you an actionable plan how to achieve them. The goal here is for you to produce high impact results, not another ever-ending to-do list. You have to-do lists in your task management in your CRMs. You have to-do lists being flung at you. Really what you're trying to do is get focused and decide what are the most important things to you. And this tool is designed to help you gain better control over your time and focus, strike the balance between your work and personal life, help you elevate your marketing, help you build a more focused team and improve your strategic delegation. It helps you boost your cash flow and profitability while creating the life you enjoy. So I know we talked about this tool in other episodes. You've heard a lot of our members talk about this tool. Some of you are like going, oh my God, it's a paper planner. Yeah, it's paper. And there's a reason for it being paper, because I want you to step away from the screens. I want you to take a moment to make good decisions and decide what does a great week, a great day look like. to you. So you can get the planner. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. You can get a subscription. If you're a member, it's included. So take advantage of the member. And if you start a subscription, I'm just going to tell you, it will change your life. I've been using it for 20 years and I just could not imagine my life without this particular tool. With that, I'm going to encourage you to get started building that great practice and great life by using the most foundational transformative tool, which is the My Great Life Focus. Did you do anything differently on social media, YouTube, anything like that?
I'm on all social media pages. So to back up, yes, I trademarked the Dashcam Lawyer, and I have a logo that is also copywritten. Driving without a dash cam, that's crazy. And it's kind of a silly little saying, but when I'm in networking events or like in my BNI, every time when I repeat it, now the crowd is starting to finish my sentence. So it becomes catchy. And I believe here in Florida, South Florida, Central Florida, it is packed. And if you are driving without one, I do think at this point it's crazy. But it not only with accidents, like with your son, it just saved him from getting a ticket or maybe his insurance raising his premium. Some of them have sensors if someone tries to break into your car, hit and runs. There's just so many other reasons that you could use these things for. As far as niching and social media, I'm on all the social media platforms. I have a fairly heavy presence for a smaller firm. We've got content coming out every single day, and I've got a social media person who schedules it, creates it, edits it, and puts all of it out. She's been with me for a while, and she's great. So every 2 weeks we meet, and we're just talking about the next idea, the next marketing thing we want to try. I find myself lately in the last few years in a very creative mindset, and I'm enjoying the marketing and the business growth more than the being a lawyer aspect of it. So I'm always coming up with all kinds of really cool ideas that I will try out, including this podcast I was talking to you about. And another thing that I just started is I have my own custom dash cam that I had made by a manufacturer. So it's got my own specs that I've always liked on dash cams. It's got my logo on it, and now we're live on Amazon as of 2 weeks ago. So we're starting to get sales for that. And
Oh,
really,
get out. That's a lot of fun. So in the show notes, not only will we put all your social contact, but we will have to put the Amazon link for your custom designed dash cam. That's so cool. I didn't know you did that. That's really cool. I love that.
yeah, like I said, I've got a lot of ideas like that. I spend a lot of time educating people about the importance of dash cams for many reasons. And upon my research, I'm seeing that the sales are supposed to double by 2030, but I never thought about selling them. And so the business person, the entrepreneur in me said, well, wait a minute, I'm giving some out, but why not make my own and try to get a piece of this sales pie that these manufacturers are doing on Amazon? And I come with a little different angle. The Amazon account is new, so I can't put any videos up yet, but my angle is going to be more about safety and liability and insurance claims and stuff like that. If you go on Amazon right now, the manufacturers, which are mostly Chinese manufacturers and sellers, they're just talking about the tech. And a lot of it's very confusing. You don't even know what they're talking about. But we're going the angle of the legal aspects, so to speak, of protecting yourself, not being involved in fraud and things like that. I tested out between the dash cams I've had in the past, and then I tested out about another 10. And you should see my cars. I would just throw dash cams up on the windshields and sometimes have two running at once. And I'm sure people thought it was insane. But I would pick different features I liked and then met with a manufacturer that I liked first time dealing with them. And the layout between etching my logo on the front for branding purposes. So when you're looking at the dash cam from the outside of the front of the car, you can see my logo. And then when the dash cam turns on, the software, my logo pops up as well for the first few seconds.
That's so much fun. That is so much fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. How many are you planning to order, under, to give away at your firm? Because I know you're giving them away. How many, what's your goal?
So we've got two types. We've got the ones we're giving away. They're a little bit lower end model, but they still work great. We're probably around 800 of those given away. I'll order another batch of probably 250 of those by the end of the year. The ones on Amazon, I'm kind of hoarding them for now because I don't know where this sales will go. I think in the first 2 weeks, I've sold 20. A lot of them are friends, but I've got to spend a little bit of time. It's kind of like starting my own law practice. I've got to figure out the right keywords, the right advertising within Amazon to get myself bumped up to compete with the bigger sellers. And so we've got some reviews that I'm told are coming in now with people that are just getting their cameras. Um, we'll go from there. I don't know how many I'm going to be ordering. It's just going to depend on sales and getting good feedback from people. But this one is definitely high end. It competes with all the top ones with all the features. And I have it priced probably less than what it's worth, than just to try to see if I can get some scoop up some of that market share.
That's great. I love it, Shannon. I love it. Where else do you see this going? Because you're really doing some creative things. You got your own YouTube channel. You've rolled out your own dash cam now, which is very, very cool. Where do you see what's next for you? What else is percolating your mind as far as niching this further?
Um, Definitely focusing on the sales and getting the word out here in Palm Beach County and surrounding counties about the importance of dash cams. I do, like I said, do speeches. I'm trying to get in front of more people to do presentations. I find that once I get in front of them, then when I leave, they're all very impressed. And then a lot of them end up telling me they buy a dash cam because of it. They don't realize how important it is. And I'm also now starting to get in front of fleets. So, air conditioning companies, any company that's got multiple vans or trucks, because it's a win win for the employer. The employer has the video there showing whether the employee screwed up or not. And the employee's job is saved if he truly didn't do anything wrong, even though he's blamed, he or she, or he's fired, he or she's fired if he did screw up because the employer can see the video, and so that will help the employer for monitoring the employee as well as if any false claims. Because as personal injury lawyers, we like to see the commercial policies. That's just how it works, and so it could help the owner of the business from having these huge claims against them if their employer did nothing wrong.
Got it. Now, you've been doing it for a while. Are you starting to see leads generating from this? I would imagine you wouldn't keep doing it if you weren't generating leads from it.
So, as in everything with marketing, especially PI, it's a marathon, right? And I knew it was going to take some time. It wasn't going to be a quick turnaround, but I am starting to get random calls. Some former clients who have had dash cams I've given them, some where they were referred, and the dash cam is an issue in the case. People thought of me, and I was mentioning to you before, I've even had one or two people from around the country see my YouTube video and give me a call. That it wasn't a case that I could take, but they would call me up and ask me questions about their certain situation that involved a dash cam.
So it's getting some traction for you, some leads, some visibility.
Yeah, technically, I still feel like this is new. I'm not even 2 years, year and a half of doing all of this. Again, I don't have the marketing budget like some of the bigger firms do, but I am pretty well known here in Palm Beach County in South Florida with doing this niche. And I've got a lot of support from people, and we do have some big plans. There's actually a bill related to dash cams that I've been meeting with a lobbyist as well. That's the next thing that we're working on. Literally talking to a lobbyist about passing a bill pertaining to dash cams. So I'm excited about that, and we'll see if that goes through.
And what would the bill be? Like encouraging people to buy dash cams or a requirement, or what are you trying to shape the legislative thinking behind?
We're looking to try to get one of the big insurers on board to maybe offer a discount for having dash cams. We're still trying to work on the logistics of how that would work out for everybody. The concept makes sense. The insured could potentially save money, potentially prevent getting dropped. The insurer could potentially benefit from not having to pay out as much if there's a video showing their insurer did nothing wrong. So it's just working on the logistics of how that discount could apply. I don't know where it's at in that stage, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. That would be an amazing thing, not just for for me and or whatever, just because I'm trying to get the word out as much as I can to people, especially in Florida, to get a dash cam in their car. It's a very simple concept.
Well, there's a financial incentive. If it saves them money on insurance, most people are like, okay, I'm all on board on that. So I can see
Yeah,
that being a really cool thing, a really good outcome. In in thinking about niching, uh, what recommendations would you make to other lawyers about how to come up with the idea of niching? Because in your case, you thought about it for a while, you're trying to find a niche, you're looking at your dash cam, and boom, it hits you at that moment. Other advice would you give to other lawyers about thinking about niching or niching their practice?
I would say it's got to be something that you're passionate about. I was passionate about dash cams because, like I said, I was one of the first people to have them in my cars. I just didn't realize I could have created something with this. It took me a while to do that, but I was spending time on ChatGPT. I'm a big fan of ChatGPT to help you come up with ideas as well. But it's kind of got to be something that's catchy, different than what the big firms are doing. Again, contingency, no recovery, no fee. We fight for you. All that stuff. That's old, my opinion. And I know people are still doing it, but I see these. I pay attention to every single billboard I drive by. I'm not on TV much, but any lawyer advertising I see, I'm paying attention to that, so I know what to do, what not to do. And I feel like the majority are just following each other with saying the same things. And as me as a consumer, I try to separate myself from the lawyer part. It just sounds boring and the same and tired. Um, so I think you need to find something that you're passionate about because it is going to take a while to get it up and running, get it going. But dash cams, again, something I've always enjoyed. I love electronics, always had them in my car. And so I light up when I talk about dash cams. And I'm just so happy I came up with this idea because I just felt for years, where's my place? Everyone likes me. I'm a good lawyer. I'm getting in business, but I just feel like I don't have that differentiator.
Got it. When it comes to growing a practice, what are some of the things that you'd recommend to other lawyers to consider beyond niching?
I'm different than a lot of the law firms. I know a lot of my colleagues want to get bigger, physical wise. I've got friends who have multi-state firms, and I know I bring in just as much revenue as some of them. It just depends what you're looking for. What's your end game? A lot of people still don't even have an end game. They're just here, being present, grinding it out. But I have an end game where I want to be done at a certain amount of time earlier than life as far as packing it up, or at least having the ability to pack it up. I know the amount of people I want in my office. I don't want to add any more. I don't want to add any more office spaces anywhere else. Um, I use my daily focuser every day to keep myself on track. Profit First book has really changed things financially on of how I am able to manage my operating account, my tax budget, my marketing budget. If you haven't read that book, it definitely is probably one of my top two books that I've ever read. And that was definitely from when I was in Atticus. I learned about that book, and that really changed the way I grew my firm as well. Because now you're putting the money in different buckets versus all the money in say one operating account, and you're just spending like crazy, thinking you've got endless amounts of money. Don't. Um,
I mean, it's a great book. I'm going to put a link in the show notes for folks who are interested in the book. It's Mike Michalowicz, which is terrific. Anything Mike does, we had him on the show a couple of times, and he's really a terrific guy. And so I think Profit First is a phenomenal book. So what else? So what's this? The other book? You said there's another book. You said
I like the Miracle Morning. So listen, health is tied into the growth of your business as well, right? And sometimes we take advantage of our health and our youth until we can't. So, beginning of the year, finally kicked myself in the butt and said, we're gonna get make things happen." I used to kickbox, spent time doing that for 10 years, not competing, but just training with some of the top fighters in the country and in that world, and I loved it. And then I stopped once my wife was pregnant 6, 7 years ago, and I never got back to doing anything active. Now I've been doing the Miracle Morning routine. The Miracle Morning book is amazing. Been doing that routine for a few years, but I'm now, as of January, implementing the gym as well and eating right and cutting out. I drink sometimes, but I've cut out a lot of that stuff, and I feel like the clarity, the focus, the energy. Especially, I just turned 50, which is so weird for me to say. I feel like doing all of that stuff, staying consistent and disciplined also helps you come up with these creative ideas, helps you get the drive to grow your practice, to push and endure, and get to the level where you need to. So, for me, the morning routines and the health, I've taken that serious this year. And I think that has definitely helped me get to the next level that I'm looking to get to.
talk to everybody for a minute about what the Miracle Morning book is about.
Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod, I believe, is the author, and apparently he had cancer and almost died. But basically, what he did, and it's been a few years since I've read it, but he went and looked at the top, say, millionaires, billionaires, whatever it is, and looked at all the rituals that they did in the morning, and he just decided to combine all of them into a one morning routine. Miracle Morning, you can deviate off of that as well. So basically, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I have a red light panel. I do some red light. I jump in my cold plunge, and then I will do journaling. I'll plan my day out. I will read 10 minutes to 15 minutes of a book, diary, and then I do a vision board. That's kind of how I get my day started before my kids get up and I have to take them to school. And I have already accomplished a bunch of things. The cold plunge is a psychological as well as a physical thing. So I've already accomplished something hard that day, which feels good to start the day off doing that. And I found the Miracle Morning gets you really good habit of getting your day started, not being in a rush of, you know, it's 6:30, my kid's gotta be at school at 7:15, and you're getting up right away, hauling ass trying to figure out what you're gonna wear. Whereas if you get up earlier, I'm not a morning person, but you get up earlier, get it done, and you feel good.
It's goes to the argument of focus as a practice. And so what you're doing is journaling, finding the day, thinking about what you want your great life to look like, what you want your great practice to look like, doing some red light therapy, cold plunge, which I think are health practices for, to say the least. And then it gives you the capability to have that foundation for activity throughout the day. Then you take your kids to school and life begins, basically. Is that
Yep.
it? Yep,
Yeah.
perfect. Perfect. I know it sounds like a dumb question, but why would other lawyers want to follow this process? Why would they want to read the Miracle Morning and follow the Miracle Morning process?
Before I was doing it, kinda like, let me set my alarm so where I just have enough time to maybe grab something to eat and then take my kids to school. And there were times where something would come up with the kids or the snooze button kicks in and then you're rushing. So once you get in that habit of setting the alarm, you know, 2 hours ahead of time before you literally have to be out the door, then you don't feel rushed. You get to, like I said, accomplish a whole bunch of personal tasks when it's quiet, dark, uh, before everyone gets up. get to accomplish all these tasks first thing in the morning. And again, it just makes your day go much better than starting off rushing and panicking, hitting snooze buttons.
Got it. Perfect. So as we start to wrap up, I got a couple of questions for you. If you had to go back in time and talk to young Shannon as he started his practice, what would be the primary piece of advice you would give him?
I promise you, this is not me trying to plug Atticus. I wish I had done Atticus many, many years ago, or some type of business coaching 10 years earlier. For me, I looked at the money factor, and that was short sighted. I found that when I had started in Atticus in 2018, which was the very first time I did any kind of like business coaching and guidance, the money paid for itself tenfold. So there's a younger guy locally here who I've been talking to him about Atticus for the last 2 years. I heard he signed up. I'm always for anyone starting off on their practice, younger lawyers, business coach, legal coach, anything. Um, I think everyone needs a coach. Look at the top pro professional players. They all have some type of coach, nutritionist, whatever it is. So coaching in all aspects is a must, and I would have done that many, many years ago had I not been short-sighted and just thought about the money aspect.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're worried about money. It looks like a cost, not an investment. And for you, you're like, it was an investment. I got a tenfold rate of return. It'd be the number one thing I would go back and tell myself. If I could go back in a time machine and talk to myself, say, start with Atticus, start the coaching sooner. It's going to pay you back over time. So I think that's fantastic advice. What advice would you give to a lawyer right now that's listening to this episode going, Shannon, I just don't know. I just don't know. And I know you've had these times, Shannon, where you're like, man, it's tough. Business is tough. Life is tough. Am I in the right place doing the right thing? What advice would you give that young lawyer?
It's a grind, and even with my kickboxing company, sales took a while. I had to travel all around the country and set up booths to get my name out there. It's the same thing for any lawyer, whether you're in personal injury, which is extremely competitive. One of the things I regretted when I went on my own, my former boss, I was with him for 3 years, 3 years out of law school, and he said, "I am done doing this. You have 60 days to find a new job or to buy me out." And one of the things that I regretted was when I was 9 to 5 employee, so to speak, with him, I had a good salary. He did not expect me to go out and market and network. He didn't care that I came in at 9 and left at 5. He was really chill boss, and I thought I got paid well. Once he put that option in front of me and I decided to buy him out and go on my own, I remember going to the chamber, one of the chamber events, and they said, "What ties do you have to our community?" Right there was when I realized, damn, I should have started my marketing, my networking, getting my name out there the second I got a job with him so that I would have had 3 years of learning how to market myself, get out there. So I can only speak for injury law. Injury law is a marketing business now. Does not, in my opinion, matter who the best lawyer is, or really people are not looking necessarily for who the best lawyer is like they used to. It's who can get to them the quickest, who's the best marketer. And so I've spent a lot of my time now focusing on marketing and business development. You can be a great lawyer, you can do great trials, or certified, all those things. But if you aren't bringing in cases, all that means nothing. So the most important person in a law firm could be the person who cleans the office every week if they're bringing in cases. So my suggestion is you got to get out there, try to find a niche, make sure you're out there marketing, networking, and coming up with stuff. Don't just rely on business to come your way, especially if you're starting off now and you're starting out in PI or in an area like where I am in Palm Beach County where it's highly competitive. It's years of sacrifice, but I live a good life now. I'm not filthy rich by any means, but I've already taken 5 vacations this year. I just got back from 8 days in Canada. I can work my own hours, come and go as I please, pick my own clients, all that stuff. But it came with a heavy work toll. But now the fruits of my labor are paying off.
Well, I would think of it like an investment. Like you invested the time into building the business, building the reputation, building the brand, and you definitely love starting businesses. That's you definitely love the creativity side. I think you're giving great advice. I think for anyone who's listening, who's trying to figure out how to grow their practice, and I think what you're saying is so important, Shannon. I have a consulting agreement right now with a firm in New York, and I'm trying to talk to the younger lawyers about how to ask for referrals, how to ask for business, how to develop relationships with, other, not only with existing clients, but other referral sources for the firm. The owner of the firm is an amazing rainmaker, just an amazing rainmaker. And he's been doing it for, a considerable period of time. And the younger lawyers just fall into the position where they're like, well, there's so much work here. All I have to do is pay attention and, just do the work that's on my desk. And they're missing that major point. So I really appreciate you sharing it. I don't care if it's family law, PI, estate planning, elder, immigration, IP, it doesn't matter. The ones that really bring in the work are usually the ones that control the client relationships and ultimately control the firms. You see this over and over and over in large firms, small firms. The ability to market and bring in business is really where it's at in most practice areas. Now, my assumption is most lawyers are good lawyers, but you and I both know that there's a lot of good lawyers out there starving because they don't know how to bring in business. So I think what you said there is really, really well said. Any final words of advice or wisdom from you?
Anything different? No, like I said, you want to go down this road, you got to be prepared. It's going to take a while. Grind it out. You've got that hustle in you. You realize, like I said, the rainmaker in the law firm is top person, and you've got to be that person so that you don't have to rely on boss. And when you've got working for one of these big firms like in New York, where they're making you work 12, 14-hour days, you don't have time to get out and network. So you've got to, everything in PI, in my opinion, is now about marketing and networking and getting out there, and people need to focus on that. Yes, the trial skills are important. I'm not doing that much anymore. Just not me these days. That stuff's important. I know the young kids like getting in the suits, saying I'm a lawyer or whatnot. But one day you might have a boss like mine that says, "Hey, I'm done. You got to get out of here. You either go work for another firm or buy me out." So don't be 3 years behind like I was. Hit the ground running and start making your contacts, your connections now, because most people want to go on their own eventually anyway, or join up with a partner and get that head start.
I think it's great advice. With that, Shannon, thanks. Thanks for being here. Congratulations on the success of Dashcam Lawyer. And I love the fact that you're selling your own Dashcam on Amazon. I'm going to go buy one. I love it. I love it. And so thank you, bud. Thanks for being here. And thanks for sharing your insights on niching with the Atticus community.
I appreciate it. Thank you as well. It's always a pleasure to see you and to be a part of anything Atticus.
Thanks for joining this week's episode of Great Practice, Great Life. Please tune in weekly to get the next episode. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, like, and don't hesitate to share it with a friend who you think this episode can help. With that, thanks, and I hope you enjoy next week's episode.